Thanks for clicking. This is my 7th update for Clue Special Panning Edition. I created this Pantastic Ladies project, and it is based around the board game Clue. And of course, we are trying to solve Mr. Body's murder by determining who did it, with what weapon, and where. And so you do that by panning your makeup and beauty items. You choose a usage goal for everything, but you're not really the one choosing, the dice are. And then whenever you get one of each category, you can assemble that into a guess, and one of the 3 parts is going to be eliminated, assuming that you're wrong. It was this time last year when I won the first round. Not the case this year. I'm still working on this case. It's being a bit trickier for me this year, but that's okay. I do have new evidence, and so we're going to get into that. The first suspect I was working on was Mrs. Peacock, and she is something blue. This is the Ardensian Monster Manuka Honey Enriched Pigment in the shade Peacock. It's like a blue-green, and my goal, according to the dice, is to use this 10 times, and I am now up to 4. I've been working on this a couple months and haven't had much progress. This is going to be a larger focus in the next month for me. I'm not sure if I'll meet my goal for February, but I'm really hoping by March. We'll see. So this is still in, and I don't know if it's Mrs. Peacock or not. My next suspect was Mrs. White, and she's something white. This is the Au Naturel Cream Shadow in the shade White Quartz. It is a white cream shadow that I periodically use as a base. At the last update, I believe I had 3 uses, but I have gotten all 8 of my goal. So I have now met my goal on Mrs. White, and she can be guessed. This is not the same as it used to be, which makes sense because it is rather old. It is creamier than it once was, which means that it doesn't stay in place as well and it tends to crease, but I still have it. I'm still periodically using it for now. I haven't gotten frustrated enough with it to get rid of it, and so I still have it, even though I've met my goal. My third suspect was Professor Plum, and he's something purple. He just rolled in last update, but the dice were really nice, and I just had a usage goal of 3. I was using this lip crayon. It is purple, and I did use it the 3 times, so this is a goal met, and I can guess Professor Plum as well. This lip crayon, I had it a long time, but it's honestly exactly the same as it was when I got it. It is a very stiff, very sheer formula, so it doesn't apply a lot of color, which means that even though it is purple, it's still wearable, and I wear it to work all the time. Its staying power is really pretty good, especially since I don't know what brand this is, but I'm sure it's a drugstore brand, so I wouldn't have paid a lot for it, and I'm pretty happy with it. The first weapon I was working on was the candlestick, and that is a lackluster product. I picked this Well People lip gloss. I believe this is the shade Afterglow. It is discolored because I've applied it over different lipsticks numerous times, but it was that like bright gold initially, and I thought that it was pretty lackluster. It didn't show up all that vibrantly, and also the wand is rather small, and so it never deposited a lot of product. I actually just took out the stopper a couple days ago, and I actually like it better with the stopper out because it is picking up more product. I always had to dip in multiple times because the stopper was pretty tight and I just didn't get much product. So I'm happier with it with the stopper out, but I still wouldn't buy another one, and I have met my goal. So the candlestick is now something that can be guessed. I also brought in the rope. This came in last update, and it's a product that is multi-purpose. So this is the Laka & Co. Cheeky Lip. So it's meant to be for your cheeks or your lips. I like it better on my lips, so that's pretty much exclusively how I wear it, but this is technically a dual purpose item, and I have used this twice in the last month. So it is actually a really bright pink, so it's not in season. My goal is just to use it 5 times. I think I will have that by the next update, but the rope is still in the project. My third weapon was the lead pipe. That's something in a tube packaging, and I picked this NYX glitter primer. I had a goal of using this 9 times, but being that it's an eye base, it's actually pretty easy to do that. So I did meet my 9 use goal just in the last month, and so this is now a weapon that can be guessed. So now we're into the rooms, and the first of them is the kitchen, which is a Franken product. I picked my Franken lotion, which is very fun to say. And so this is a mix of things. There was a dollar store body lotion. There was a sample of a tanning lotion for tanning beds. There was a facial moisture that I didn't like. But anyway, this is a Franken lotion. My goal was to use this 10 times. At the last update I had 4. I did use it the other 6 times. And so I had suggestions for how to use this, and I did use it as just a hand cream a couple of times. So that helped a lot because I just don't tend to put on body lotion. And when I do, it's like on my legs and just after I shaved. And I don't shave my legs all that often in the winter, honestly. So I wasn't using it all that much, but this is now a goal met. And part of my problem, I think, with this is that it's not scented, so I don't feel inclined to use it because it's not as pleasant an experience since it doesn't have a scent. So I think I'm going to add a oil to it at some point, but For now, it's just like this, but it's a goal met for this project. My second room was the lounge, and that's a home spa day product. I've been using this Wish exfoliating foot mask. I don't like it. I don't think it's hydrating. I don't think it's exfoliating. I don't think it really does anything. But I did use it my 6 times. I think I had 4 uses at the last update. I've actually used it 3 times. And this is essentially empty. I think if I cut it open, I might get one more use out of it. And I might do that. I don't know yet. But this will not be rolling back in because there would be no point. And I have met my goal on the lounge. And the last room I was working on was the hall, and that is something that is an extra step in your routine. And I picked a color corrector. It was an LA Girl color corrector, and it was orange, so it was not something I would have bought. I got it as a gift with purchase, and so it was pretty dark. I think for me, I don't think it's something that I really need, but I have it, so I used it. My goal was to use it 6 times. I just had 2 uses left as of the last update, and I got those 2 uses early in the last month, but I don't know where it's at right now because I have moved and things are not where I thought they were. But I still own it. It's somewhere. I just don't have it to show to you, but I did meet my goal, and so I was able to guess the haul. So to recap, I did meet my goal on 2 suspects, Professor Plum and Mrs. White, and I met my goal on 2 weapons, the candlestick and the lead pipe. I also had the wrench that I met my goal on at the last update and hadn't guessed yet, so I actually had 3 weapons to work with. And then for the rooms, I met my goal on all 3. I met my goal on the kitchen, the lounge, and the hall. So I was able to make 2 guesses since I'm limited by the 2 suspects. And my first guess was that it could have been Professor Plum with the wrench in the hall. And so I asked Taru, she is holding my solution secret for me so I can play, and Taru told me that it could not have been the hall. So the hall is not my crime scene and I can eliminate it. My second guess then was that maybe it could have been Mrs. White with the lead pipe in the lounge. And so Taru responded that it could not have been Mrs. White. She is innocent, so not her, and so I can eliminate her as a suspect. So with that information, I was able to pick some new products to focus on, and I actually had a really good month in this project throughout the last month, which was surprising given that I moved. I didn't wear makeup as often, but this project did not suffer. So I get to choose some new things. I am working on Mrs. Peacock, so I am rolling in 2 suspects. The first is Mr. Green, and I have this KVD Super Pomade in the shade Power Green. I use it as a cream eyeshadow sometimes or as a green eyeliner, whichever I feel like doing. The dice told me that I'm going to use this 6 times, so I have 6 uses for Mr. Green. Then I decided that I'm going to bring Professor Plum right back. So Professor Plum is something purple, and I am still going to use this purple lip crayon, and the dice told me that this time I have to use him 7 times. So we're upping the goal a little bit, and we're going to see how long it takes me to meet my goal on Professor Plum this time. Now we're into the weapons, and I am still working on the rope. I get to roll in 2 more, and the first is going to be the wrench. And for the wrench, it's something broken, so you're going to see a photo on the screen. That is my Lorac eyeshadow in the shade Quartz. It broke immediately when I got it because I took it out of the packaging and dropped it on the floor. So there actually is still a stain in my old apartment where that fell because I was never able to get it out. But in any case, I have a goal to use that 4 more times according to the dice. And yeah, it does actually look worse for wear in that photo because, again, I moved, so it kind of got jostled around and more of it was shaken loose. But I still haven't repressed it because almost the entire eyeshadow is in there and repressing it would be hard. So anyway, I'm going to use it 4 more times for this particular update. And I'm going to go ahead for my other weapon and bring the lead pipe right back. It's still something in tube packaging, and it's still going to be the NYX glitter primer. And the dice like to roll high for this one, but it's going to be a goal of 11 uses on this, which I'll probably get in a month, we'll see. But 11 uses for the lead pipe this time. Now we're on to the rooms. I did meet my goal on all 3 rooms, the kitchen, the lounge, and the hall. So I get to roll in 3 more, and there's 2 rooms that I haven't investigated at all yet. So I want to go ahead and do all the prompts at least once. So I'm going to bring those in. The first is the billiard room, and that is stripes or solids, something with striped or solid packaging, like the pool balls, you know? So I'm bringing in this Tarte Amazonian Glay 12-hour blush in Captivating, and I rolled the dice for this, and they told me I'm going to use it 4 times, which really isn't that bad. So 4 uses on this blush for the billiard room. And the last room that I haven't looked at yet is the study. The study is something you research before buying, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do for this one because a while ago I got some samples of the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, and I tried the two that were closest to my skin tone. Neither of them were quite right, but they were close enough that I was able to determine that I really liked it. I knew I wanted to buy that concealer, and so I looked into it, and my local Ulta did not carry it, which is unfortunate because I really like to buy my foundations and concealers in person so I can get the shade match right, but I didn't have that option because it wasn't available in store, which meant that I had to order it online. The card that came with the samples had like little gradient of what the shades were, and so I held that up to my skin and I picked the one that I thought was closest to my skin tone. It looked right that on the piece of cardboard anyway. And then I also used Ulta's shade match feature where you put in your shade in a foundation or a concealer that you're familiar with, and it'll tell you which one from that brand is the closest. And they gave me the same answer, so I thought that was a good sign. And again, I really like this concealer, and I had also looked at reviews to confirm that I'm not crazy. Other people also really like this concealer, and so I bought it online and I regret nothing. So this is the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer in the shade N2, which is my shade, and the dice told me to use this 2 times, a whole 2 times, which should be really easy. So no problem there, and so I'm sure I will meet my goal on the study for next time. And the last room I'm going to roll in is the lounge again. So I have guessed the lounge 3 times and it hasn't been eliminated yet, so I'm thinking that could be my crime scene. So I'm going to keep looking over there, and it's still a home spa day product, but I'm not going to roll back in that foot mask because 1, I hate it, and 2, I might get one more use out of it and that would be it. So I picked something else. This is the Sarah Labs Cracked Heel Souffle, so still on the foot products, but this should, I hope, at least be moisturizing because my feet really need that right now. And so I will use this 8 times because the dice told me to. So there's my update. For next time, I am hoping to get 2 guesses, but I really need to focus on suspects to do that because that's where I'm kind of falling behind, is with the suspects. And they are kind of harder products. I do pick hard products for that category. So like green eyeliner and a deep blue eye pigment, those aren't things I wear all the time, but hopefully I will be able to focus on those and get 2 of them out. And wish me luck. Good luck with your projects, and I'll see you next time. Bye.